My name is Masi Valerie, and I'd like to thank Cecilia and Black Cinderella for that wonderful conversation. I hope wherever you are at home, you've learned a thing or two from that wonderful and lovely lady. I'd like to read some of your comments. I can see somebody here saying, Bella Waidera. She says the show is lit, on fire. And then there is somebody else here, Mumbi Nyokabi, great show. DJ Ameweza, watching from Reru. And let me read the last one. Nelly Mokaya says, tuned and enjoying the show from Kikuyu area. So of course, we'd like to continue getting your feedback on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and of course also as well on YouTube. You know, Rev Your Gospel, we not only entertain you, but we also want you to be revolutionized. And today we're talking about what is next. And I have my guest, she's called Sugar. Hi, Sugar.
Hello.
Welcome on board.
Thank you.
You know, I tell people I really don't know your English name because it's a tough one. So let me just call her Sugar for today. Yeah.
Yes.
So, karibu sana to Rev Your Gospel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. So talking about what is next, you know, as most young people, we make mistakes. So is making a mistake part of growing up for a young person?
Actually, I think that it is very important. I was thinking about it. In fact, I've been thinking about it in the recent years of my life, that being too guarded has made me want to try things.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I fall, then I know, okay, this is what I shouldn't do. Okay. So I think it's important. I mean, just like even for a child, if the child does not fall literally, the child does not know that, okay, let me not do this. If this child doesn't get burnt by the flame, the person will not know that you shouldn't touch this. So I just think that it is actually, it's part of the life, it's part of it. You have to. You have to make mistakes.
Okay, I like that. I like the fact that you're talking about a child growing up and they have to fall down. But my question is, where do boundaries come in for a person? Like how deep should I fall, or how far should I fall, even as the learning process continues? Because we have young people who are, some are like, you know, in a state where recovering takes some time. You know, people enter into depression, probably some get children outside wedlock, and the recovery process takes some time. So what about boundaries? What levels should I fall as a young person?
Well, I think that really it depends on how growing up is like for you. It depends on how the people you have around you, because sadly you don't know it's a mistake. Because I think if you know, although it's true that when some people know, they're still like, I still want to do it. But I feel like it just really matters on how you grow up, the people around you. Because, say for me, I'm very keen to the older people, or what people have experienced, what I read, what I've heard, the things I've heard around me, the kind of guide that process of learning for me, and knowing that, okay, there you'll fall. It's just like certain situations where people will tell you, oh, I want to use relationships. I feel like it's very, very real. Say if you do like this, or if you keep dating like this, or if you do this, even though there are different ways of doing the relationship, let me say that, because of people, it's still, you are still keen to another person's experience.
Absolutely.
It makes you watch out. It makes you observe. It makes you know what to look for. So, and even in, it's not just it doesn't only end around you. I'd say even like you're in school, your friends, basically their experiences, family, the people that you consider. So I feel like learning and listening from people around you really helps you set the boundaries. Yes, but then again, I feel like it's inevitable, because generally as humans, we just want to try things, want to explore things. The heart wants what it wants.
Yes, true.
The heart wants what it wants. And it's for you to, I think what's really important here is just building yourself and selecting, because your boundaries come from what you would eventually choose from, all what you've heard, or what you've read, or what you've seen. From your value system eventually. Because ideally what we're telling young people out here, that it could be inevitable for you to fall, but it's good to learn
it's good to expose yourself here to different mentors, different people who've been through certain phases of life, and then you learn from them so that you don't repeat the same mistake twice, you know. Because they say when you do it once, you know, that's a mistake, but you do it twice, that's foolishness. Total foolishness. Okay, so what happens then if I'm a young person and I'm watching this, and then I find myself in situations where I don't know how to recover back? How do I bounce back?
The first thing for me, and it took me a lot of time, I feel like that is where I am at now, is to realize that it's normal. It's okay to make a mistake. You're not expected to be perfect. No, I mean, we say this time and again, nobody is perfect. So if you made a mistake, it's a normal thing, because I feel like it starts from the mind. If you lose it from your mind, I mean, what else are you holding on to? But when you start feeling from inside that, okay, this has happened, this is how I'm feeling about it, you know, acknowledging and accepting that you've done this, you've made this mistake, it basically starts reacting even with you start resonating, you start to catch up with life, basically, you know, once it starts in the mind. I think another thing too is to actively figure out, so what are my next steps from here? I actually like looking back. Some people always say, oh, the past is gone, you just move. But I think it's important to look back at, trace your steps. Where did I fall? I was having a conversation yesterday with a friend of mine, and we just entered into literally the same topic, actually, and how he feels like, oh, he knows where he fell. So, actually, he didn't realize it. So I was like, but do you think that there was a point? And he was like, yeah, I think I know where that happened. And I was like, what are the things around them? My point is basically, since he was able to trace that, he didn't even realize that, because he had acknowledged, you know, that first step for acknowledging, I know that I've been doing this, but he didn't even realize that there's actually a root cause. Because once you know where the mistake is from, you already know how to sort the issue. You don't want to start solving. And by the way, it usually ends up, you start from probably just doing one thing. Let's just say a lie. You know, you just start lying. Before you realize it, you're manipulating people. Before you realize it, you're just
swindling, and
it's very bad. But once you realize that it just started from lying, you will know how to cut the habit. You will know what to start turning around in your mind. So it's all about accepting, understanding that there's nothing wrong with you, accepting that you've made a mistake, and then tracing back, you know, and then figuring how to do it, from how to come back from what you've done.
Awesome. And then, so how do you remain consistent on that path, in that track, that you're not becoming a seasonal person who keeps on falling down all the time and messing, you know, because I think that's very key for young people.
Message to myself.
You're speaking to yourself. How do you remain consistent on that path, that, you know, I realize this was my mistake, and I make a decision, I'm not going to do that thing again. As much as the flesh would like to do it, but I'm not going to do it anymore.
You have to hold on to something. And in my case, it's God. It's the Bible. I really just hold on to the promises of God, what God says about me, and intentionally. In fact, I was listening again yesterday. Yesterday was very insightful for me. Having principles. Once you figure out what has happened, you've seen your whole life, and doesn't matter what length of time it took for you to leave whatever it is that make you feel like you've been living a mistake or whatever. But once you figure that out, you've seen all what has been going on, then you just have to actively undo the things that you used to do. You have to be very intentional about it, because it's a muscle. It's a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it will not grow. As well as it's not just, it's not instant. You will definitely feel the need to. But once you just choose every other day, okay, I'm not going to do this, or this is how I'm going to do life, this is how I'm going to escape the situation, it will really be, I think that's the best way. And holding on to something, for me, the thing I hold on to is just God, you know, the promises of God, the Holy Spirit, because sometimes I'm just like, I can't do this on my own. There's no way I can do it on my own. But just for anyone, basically, you just need to hold on to, it could be any other value system you have, it could be just just the realities of life, that following a principle, you've already gone the other way. It's not that you don't know anymore.
Yes.
You've already gone the other way, and you know that this is really going to take you back to the same place. So be wise not to go back that way.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So what's your parting shot, even as we finish this conversation? And I love the fact that you're saying get something to hold on to, and you hold on to the word of God.
Yeah.
So what would be your parting shot for any young person watching this? Yeah.
I'll tell them just not to be too hard on themselves, because I feel like that is the most important thing that I had to learn. I've had this conversation with my mom, and every time was to remember that, okay, yes, those things happened, but don't be too hard on yourself.
Absolutely.
No matter what stage you've reached, no matter what degree the mistake has gotten to, do not be too hard on yourself. There's no way that you can't change from what it is you want to change from. It's just like business. Some people do businesses about 4 to 5 times before they actually hack it.
Yes.
But it's because they keep changing strategies. They keep seeing things. So it's very important to not be too hard on yourself and keep trying in the right direction, the direction you think it's going to lead you. And even when you fall again, don't remain down there.
Absolutely. Pick up yourself and move on. Great. Thank you. Thank you. I almost called you Cecilia. Thank you, Sugar. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Right about now, we're going to go back to the music. We're going back to DJ Namshar, who is going to give us some little bit of music. God bless.